After years of speculation and buildup, 7 months of actual campaigning, and a disappointing 6th-place finish in the New Hampshire primary, Governor Christie is ending his bid to be the next president of the United States. I was there in New Hampshire last night as Christie addressed a ballroom full of his supporters.
Mary Pat and I spoke tonight, and we've decided that we're going to go home to New Jersey tomorrow, and we're going to take a deep breath, see what the final results are tonight, because that matters.
Now, a lot of people in the ballroom were disappointed but not necessarily shocked. Christie had been polling very low and was hoping for a last-minute surge that never really quite materialized. I got a chance to see him on the campaign trail, and he was working down to the wire, but it didn't seem to be enough for him. He had banked all his chances on a good shot in New Hampshire that was going to propel him to South Carolina. That 8 a.m. plane flight that he said he was taking Wednesday morning to South Carolina never happened. Instead, he's coming back to Trenton to find out what to do. I spoke to some of the supporters there, including his New Hampshire chairman. The one person who was not as fatalistic was a 7-year-old girl named Sienna, who was the governor's biggest fan in that room. The governor actually called her a 5th child for him, kind of adopted her going through New Hampshire.
I want him to go full Christie.
What does that mean?
He goes full Christie. He'll get above, he'll do TMI sometimes.
So to break it all down, we're joined by political strategist Jeanette Hoffman and host of NJ Now on My 9, Jim McQueenie. Jim, I'm going to start with you. What happened in New Hampshire?
Christie's get up and go is got up and gone. That's the bottom line right now. You know what? He's in a situation where, honestly, he's never really been in the race, no matter what you've really heard or thought.
Jeanette, let me ask you, so is that a fair assessment? I mean, you've got an 8-person race.
Yep.
And most of the oxygen was taken out of the room by Donald Trump. The guy got almost 40%.
Look, Governor Christie's time was 2012. That's when he really peaked in Republican politics. But this year, who could have predicted that Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump would win the New Hampshire primary?
So, Jim, what happens next? I mean, the governor's coming back. He's got the budget address that's going to come up next week. I see this as a huge opportunity for the governor to say, all right, I'm in the 30s now. Let me get myself back to the 50s and do something over the course of the next 18 months while he's in office.
I don't know, Bill. Did you see how somber he was in giving that concession speech last night? That wasn't because he lost. It's because he sees himself back in Trenton now.
Well, you might be right. He was certainly, it was an emotional night for him for sure. Thanks. Appreciate it, Jim. The Democrats had their own battle in New Hampshire last night with Bernie Sanders surging to a huge victory over Hillary Clinton. You caught up with Bernie, Tamara?
Senator.
Today in New York. What do you got?
Reverend Al Sharpton welcomed presidential candidate Bernie Sanders with a hug at their meeting this morning at the Harlem restaurant Sylvia's. Now, I chased it there because everybody was wondering, after Bernie Sanders' sweeping win in New Hampshire, was the Reverend going to endorse him? He did not.
I asked him very bluntly about Flint, affirmative action, police misconduct. He's agreed also to meet with the heads of national civil rights organizations. I have not made an endorsement and will not till after that meeting.
Some people said that this meeting was actually just pandering to get the African-American vote. So I asked one of the supporters there.
He supported African-Americans and African-American lives and rights for years. He marched with Martin Luther King Jr. I think that's a very dumb criticism.
Guys, what do you think?
Both of these candidates are going to run into inertia for different reasons, and I actually don't believe either of them will be the party nominee going forward.
As a Republican, it would be a dream if Democrats put up a 74-year-old socialist as their candidate. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think what this is showing is that Hillary Clinton is a flawed candidate.
Who wins South Carolina? Ah, yes. You're both jumping on that question.